Taffy, I know you were interested in the Gnomeland Security building.
Yeah, but they haven't done anything to warrant me actually like digging around their guild house. Like I haven't linked them to the crimes yet.
Well, yeah. I did actually have a suggestion regarding that.
Okay.
Assuming that everyone in this town uses Gnomeland Security, it's a good assumption to think that the Duke might also use Gnomeland Security. So, what if by poking around we might be able to learn something about how their wards work?
Close enough for me. I'll take it. Just go break into their building, steal all their secrets.
Maybe we talk to them first.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that.
Just don't tell them you're in the Padlock Guild, and it'll be fine.
While you investigate the Gnomeland Security building, I was actually going to ask Tove and Yavari to accompany me into town.
Ooh, a field trip.
Assuming you're both not completely...
Oh, completely what?
Booked and busy.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Actually, I have to go plant some...
Here we go.
Where are you planning?
Yavari.
Where?
It's about that thing that you don't talk about.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, no, I'm actually free. My schedule is open.
My schedule just freed open.
Yeah, I still need to get those horns from the general as well, so that I can... And he stops and he looks at Yavari and he's just like...
You know, I'm not exactly thrilled by it either, you know? But...
Yeah, well... Gold enough to be my mother.
Listen, you little brat. I will beat you up.
You can try.
All right. Let's not start a fight here at the breakfast table.
I'm just saying, can she even reach me?
Yavari just under the table kicks him.
Ow!
Taffy's just leaning back, just
back,
observing.
didn't I?
See what you
All
can
right.
You know, maybe I'll just cut your horns off and wear them.
Okay.
Love
all right,
to see
everybody.
you try.
Let's
All
just,
I really would.
Okay, Tove, I'm gonna leave these wonderful fellows to you, and Big Bird, if you would like to go on, let's go ahead and head on out.
Thanks. Tove just calls after him like, thanks so much, Taffy.
Hey,
Have a
you're
great
welcome.
time.
Oh, thank you. What are friends for? He's just chuckling to himself as he gets ready to leave.
You've already just reminded me of something. You know, Taffy didn't sleep too well last night. I woke up somewhere around early night.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get to bed too early.
I guess I didn't.
So, I just gotta ask. Tove?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll lean forward and put his elbows on the table and curl his fingers underneath his chin. And he'll just look at her and he'll just go, do you love him?
Ari immediately just puts his face in his hands. Argo like stops mid-step.
Do you love him, Tove?
Okay.
Ari and Tove sitting in a tree. KISS
It's just none of you guys is Tove is so mortified. She can't look at Ari, and she can't look at Narcellis, so she's just looking down at her half-eaten plate of eggs.
Eggs.
Listen, Tove, I'm just saying, I absolutely support the union of Mr. and Mrs. Bauer.
Oh, come on.
that's
I
how that
love-
works, Noshas.
Yeah, this is
Very
you're really
progressive.
jumping like super ahead down the timeline. We haven't even said anything. Like it's just
Oh, you said plenty last night.
okay. You know what? I'm gonna need you to shut up. I'm gonna need you to shut up and not say anything else.
Rest of the group eventually files out of the Coranial estate. So now you guys are off and then out through the gates into the city proper. And then, of course, from what you remember, Taffy, you recall seeing the sign for Gnomeland Security on a building, just a little ways down the road. And it's not all that hard to find.
The closer he gets to it, the more his ears lay back and the more he squints. All right, let's get this over with. He just
And as as you're having this conversation, you're hyping yourself up. You're about ready to go marching in here to get some answers. You hear a voice speak up from behind and say, if you needed a bodyguard, all you had to do was ask. And from behind Arca, Taffy, if you turn and look, the voice sounds semi-familiar to you as you look and you're confronted with this tall, well over 6 foot, red husky woman standing there before you.
Whoa.
She's dressed in like very simple, like half leather and cloth armor, as she has like this big toothy grin across her maw. And you actually will recognize her. She is a Padlock member here in Valgard.
He spins around. He's like, Samoya! Oh, hey, I meant to stop by and say hi, but I, didn't quite get around to it. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, Taffy, thank you. She'll kind of like look between him and Arca. Say, what in the world do you need a bodyguard for? I thought a cute cat like you could take care of himself well enough.
He kind of bristles out. You can actually see him like, I'll blush a little bit, and he's like, oh well,
Arca doesn't say anything, but like you can kind of see like the crest of feathers, right? So it's like,
It's like, yeah, I was just in town. I don't know if you've seen the wanted posters around.
Oh, I've heard. I have been so worried about you, truly.
Yeah, that's don't worry, didn't have any involvement with that. You know how Dad would get about that if he heard about that sort of thing. No news is coming from the guild HQ, has it?
I mean, nothing really. I don't think word has gotten over to Aket yet about what's going on here.
Excellent. Let's keep it that way, if you know what I mean. If we could just do me a solid there. Yeah, we're tracking the guy down. Kind of got involved in it. Gotta make sure that don't drag the Padlock Guild down with me.
Yeah, I don't think old Three Whiskers would be too happy about that.
Oh yeah, that I don't wanna give him a heart attack. Jesus. But yeah, found the culprit, and we are currently dismantling his plans. He kind of looks around, keeps his voice a little low. But yeah, so unfortunately, that involves having to deal with Gnomeland Security.
Man, I hate these guys.
Oh yeah. So he's like, he looks around. He kind of like beckons Samoya to get a little closer.
But she does, like, leans down as well because she's just so much taller than the both of you.
So she freed on Sunday? Or Monday?
Oh
What?
no!
So was she like free on Monday?
Oh my
I know, good
Oh my gosh.
He's like, all right. So here's the thing. I was hoping not to involve any extra guild agents, but this is getting a little out of hand, and the extra help might not be too bad. All right, we're dealing with like a top level conspiracy here. The whole Duke's in it on it and everything. We don't have a proper guild house, but you happen to have padlock supplies nearby or on hand, don't you?
Yeah, I have a little place across town.
Okay. I don't know how much they've shipped over here yet, but it turns out at this point he's whispering, just between Arca and Samoya and himself. The Duke might be involved in a little bit of trying to make his brother sick, vying for some power, making look like some drow got involved. It's a real bad time. Like we're talking starting a whole war between two different factions. It ain't pretty. And we really do need to stop this. Aside from the whole massive loss of life between two entire factions going to war, I would prefer I'm in a position to help stop that. Might as well take it up on that. Plus, it can be kind of bad for business. If everyone's going and murdering each other.
Very true, and I think the last thing any of us need is a third Dark War.
No joke. Oh, but yeah, so the idea is to get into the Duke's palace and find some incriminating evidence, if you know what I'm saying. But I believe his manor's probably been locked down by our friends Gnomeland Security. So I was hoping to get
it has been.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, fun.
Wonderful. All right, so this was the right call. I'm going to, please don't tell Three Whiskers about this, pose as an ex-Padlock Guild agent and pretend to go ask for a job from Gnomeland Security to maybe get some information on their locking, what wards they use, enchantments, that sort of thing, so that I can make an appropriate sales pitch to our friend the Duke, so that my consultants, as he kind of nods towards Arca, can peruse the manor, as it were.
I see. She nods along, like listening as he's telling his story. Well, I think it's a pretty solid idea. I'd be careful getting into his place. He's got it pretty locked up tight. It's a bit of a new thing that he's done with it.
New? Are we talking? Wait, Gnomeland Security's got something new?
Well, that I'm not sure about, but no, like him hiring Gnomeland Security is a new thing that's happened recently.
If you you don't have to get involved. It's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with some problems. I mean, the Swift Cloaks are involved, the Crows are involved. It's a problem. But if you they kind of like shuffles a little bit. If you want to help, if you could go grab a bunch of padlock gear, the locks. Do we have any scarabs on hand?
I think I do have a few, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Grab some of those. Maybe some puzzle and trick locks. We could probably use those to woo the Duke and see if we can outdo the Gnomeland Security here.
Right, sounds good. And should I come meet you back here, or is there somewhere else?
Okay, so the once I'm done here, I'm gonna be back with my consultants at what's his name again? Falvir?
Feldvin.
Falvin, there we go.
General?
Yes, we are staying at his manor. Like I said, I'm involved. It's gotten it has spiraled. There was pirates. It was a whole thing. I'll tell you about it once we make it out of here with our heads intact.
Oh, I want to hear this story.
Oh, it's a story, all right.
Okay, well, I'll go get some stuff. maybe a few extra things. I don't think Gnomeland Security has gotten their hands on the general yet, so I'll bring the good stuff.
Excellent. Perfect. So yeah, he's
Oh,
he kind of waves.
Taffy!
Oh my god.
You have a little crush on the tall lady.
Listen. Make it easy, jeez. All right, listen, okay? He's just happy to work with other Padlock Guild agents, all right? They get him, they understand.
Tall lady. Making Taffy spill all the tea.
Tall, pretty lady. Here, let me just tell you where we're staying and what we're implicated in. And also, we're staying with the general. What other information can I possibly give you?
Listen, he didn't know that, he was like, I just have a contact here. I didn't, he
We're all going to jail.
We're going to jail.
Like as she leaves, Arca like slowly turns to Taffy, and he's got the biggest smile on, and he's like, "So, how much can I extort you for to not?"
Taffy bristles up and he's like, "What? What are you? I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about."
I saw your tail going. I saw that flesh. You cannot fool me.
It's a purely professional transaction here. Okay, listen. There's not a lot of other Padlock Guild agents out here, all right? I'm just excited to work with some other fellow coworkers.
I am sure you're going to transact with her not professionally at all.
Oh. Taffy like opens his mouth and doesn't know how to respond.
If I had a fan, I would be opening it and just being like, okay.
Okay. Taffy's like, all right, what do you want? You want, like, I don't know, breakfast? What do you food? Does food work?
How much food?
How much do you want? I'll buy
You
the
pay
good
for my
rations.
meals for. Okay, enough for 2 weeks.
All right. That's all right. Fine. Well, all right. That's the deal. All right. Let's just purely professional, totally just a Padlock Guild associate. All right. Man, I got to work on my posture. He's like straightening himself up, like recombing his hair. Like, yeah, I got to make sure I don't do that when we're at the general's house.
So as you enter the building of Gnomeland Security, the odd shape of the roof, like outside, how like it's just completely slanted in one direction, is easy to see as you walk inside. As it has a very tall ceiling that's just slanted to the one side. Inside there is a nice little desk to greet you, where a gnome currently sits behind it. Welcome to Gnomeland Security. How might I assist you two today?
Taffy clears his throat and walks up. Hello. Yes. I was just wondering if you guys were currently hiring.
Oh, not usually the sort to hire lots of tall folks such as yourself. As she kind of looks between the two of you guys.
I was like,
Are you well versed in arcane warding spells, at the very least?
Well, you see, and he kind of like, leans in on the desk. Is the desk short or tall? Like, is the gnome on a stool or like what? Where's the?
Yeah, the desk is like normal height, and as you kind of lean over, you can see that she is currently standing on a stool.
Okay. So he kind of leans over and is like, all right. So here's the deal. Due to some unfortunate circumstances, you may have noticed some of the posters were wandering around, but I am, Taffy. You may have heard of me. I worked, being the key word here, at the Padlock Guild, ex-agent, as you know. So unfortunately, I'm currently in the market to work for another security guild, as it were. My friend here is my consultant, guild HQ in here, so I needed a guide to help me navigate the continent from town to town. And a lot of good it did me, though. Unfortunately, it got wrapped up in this nonsense with, assassination and stuff, and got kicked out of the guild.
Oh, I see. And she definitely looks like very interested now. She says, I think the guildmaster would probably like to talk to you personally.
Oh, excellent. I'll go ahead and do that, and if this might be a done deal or something like that. So if you want to go ahead and give some of the information to my associate here, and we can catch up later.
Fair enough. If you go down the hallway here, she'll point to like a little hallway that was kind of off to the side from the desk. Take the second door on the right. I think she's currently with a couple of other guild members, teaching them a couple of the basic wards.
Oh, perfect. Never mind then. My consultant will come with me. Want to keep him up to date and sort of he helps me out setting up my security locks and that sort of thing. So.
And you see there's a couple of gnomes and what appears to be a human, kind of standing around the middle of the floor, watching a gnome drawing on the floor in paint. And this gnome that's drawing has pink hair, kept up in two pigtails.
Oh.
And as the door opens, she looks up, and her eyes lock onto you, Taffy, and Arca, if Arca's in view, mostly at Taffy.
Yeah.
And she straightens immediately, is like, "What are you doing here?"
Oh, good.
Good.
Well, as you know, that little stunt that happened, it got me into a bit of a spot of trouble. You do one, no good deed goes unpunished, as it were, and now I'm out of a job. So here I am, offering my services. Is that going to be a problem with you?
Are you... Here, come in. Come in. She, beckons you all inside and then looks at everyone else like, get out, get. She'll, push everyone else out the door. She allows you and Arca into the room. She's like, there have been seldom few times where I have found myself, what's the word I'm looking for, upstaged by someone else. So honestly, I was very impressed with that performance you and your friends put on that night, that you managed to get past some of my best warding spells to date.
Well, Padlock Guild agents are pretty resourceful.
I see that now. And then she kind of narrows her eyes. So you're really here now to join my guild?
I mean, what else am I gonna do? My skill set's in security. I've been kicked out of the Padlock Guild. What else? Where am I gonna work? I don't want to be a baker or a blacksmith.
I don't know.
Wow.
Thieves Guild, I guess.
I'd like to stay above board, as it were. As you can see, stealing things isn't quite what I have in mind for a career path.
I see. Is your friend interested as well? She'll look curiously at Arca.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
Go.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. I'm also interested. He is my compatriot and we stick together.
Very well. And she'll kind of straighten up, tries to wipe her hands off of some of the paint that's gotten on her fingers. She'll say, "Well, my name is Tagira. I am the Guildmaster of Gnomeland Security. As she prepares to teach you guys a few things about Gnomeland Security.
Oh, perfect.
But in the meantime,
Yeah, I noticed you didn't have one, but I didn't really think anything of it.
He's gonna kind of look at Falcon for a minute, like, he doesn't make the noise, but he's thinking it. And after a minute, he takes off his glove on his right hand, and he unbinds the cloth from around his hand. And Tove, you will see that there is scarred and burned, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like cauterized skin, and it's puckered around a very purple crystal that is jutting out of his hand.
At his hand is going to like look up at him and say, "So you're trying to get this removed, but it doesn't look like." Well, I mean, I'm not an expert, but is that what we're going to go and try and do? Is for you to get this removed, or?
He seems to think that I'll be able to do it, so yeah. I'm just a little concerned because if it's taken out, he just kind of laughs and he says, I wasn't really able to cast magic before.
Oh.
So you would lose the ability to cast magic.
I hope not. The only thing is that every time I cast, and he kind of lifts up his sleeve a little bit, and you'll see that there are tiny purple crystals that have pushed out of his skin further up his arm. It gets a little worse.
Yavari looks so concerned right now. She's just staring at the crystals on his arm and just quietly wondering to herself what would happen if the beast core took over his body completely.
We'll just kind of...
As it's slowly spreading.
Just kind of shrug, like, so, typically I haven't really been supposing to use Anima, but, I mean, we've been in a couple fights, so...
So, you know...
Baldwin gives a small sigh.
And, like, if he will let her, Tove is going to, like, reach out to, like, take his hands, like the one with the anima crystal in it.
Alright, Kayla, go for it.
Yeah,
oh no, wait, is this...
No, you did it.
It's too late, you did it.
He will let her, but he's going to make a face, like...
And Tove, as you reach out and kind of... Are you, like, aiming to take his hand or just, like, touch his arm?
Fuck. She...
You did it now, you might as well go the whole 9 yards.
Oh god, yeah, she's gonna take his hand. Like, she's gonna take his hand.
Oh boy, okay. So, as you take his hand, you know, and you have just that small contact, immediately you feel like you're surrounded by whispering. Just many voices whispering incoherently that you cannot understand.
Oh, great.
And you also, in like the corners of your vision, you swear you can see shadows moving like tiny spiders are crawling across the ground towards you.
Oh god. Okay, Tove. Oh fuck. Sorry, I'm cussing way too much.
No, you're fine. You're okay.
Sorry, Sat.
Oh balls.
Oh no.
Tove is just going to, like, as soon as she starts, like, experiencing, like, these voices and these, like, things in the corner of her vision, she's just going to, like, immediately drop his hand, and, like, take a couple of steps back,
He will pull his hand to himself and kind of close it up around his chest, and he's looking at her with this kind of wide-eyed, very young, very afraid stare. And he'll just say, "Don't be afraid of me."
Oh. And she's like, as she's trying to still like process like what she just saw and like experienced, she's like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Maybe I think maybe we should go and see if the Dazzling Brigade can help, because whatever is going on with that is it's not good for you.
He just sort of shakes his head and says, "I'm guessing you heard it."
And Tove will just sort of nod.
After a long few moments of waiting, the door opens, and you guys are greeted by a figure much different from General Faldvin, as this tall elf, rather intimidating looking, now stands before an open door of a dwarf. Throw him down here. You see he is, already has like this thick apron on over some very simple clothing and like thick leather gloves as he regards you all from behind a small pair of spectacles sitting atop his nose. This large scruffy beard that's, you can't tell if black is its natural color or if it's just full of so much soot and dust at this point. It just has turned black.
Hey, I got a comb. I got something for that somewhere.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you all for a moment before he realizes who's standing in front of him and says, "Oh, General Faldvin, a pleasure to see you this morning. It's rather early, don't you think?" And Faldvin will nod to him and say, "Apologies, Olorn. I was hoping I could come by to ask a favor." And Baldwin will kind of glance over at Narcellus and quirk an eyebrow, trying to kind of silently ask if he would like to explain or not.
He just kind of sighs, and walks his way over, and he's like, "I feel like it might be a little less terrifying if you explain it."
As you say. He'll look back to the dwarf and say, Marcellus here has what we are assuming is a beast core that's been embedded in his hand. Olorn looks very confused as his scruffy eyebrows kind of bunched together. He's like, embedded in his hand? What the hell's are you on about, General? I mean, embedded in his hand.
I've got it. He takes his glove off and he just holds it out.
Olorn kind of like, not quite recoils, but he kind of looks a little taken aback at first, like that wasn't what he was expecting at all to see. But he'll kind of like move a little closer, not touching or anything, but just kind of like looks over Narcellus's hand as he examines like the purple crystal that's sticking out of the center of it.
And he'll turn it over, and you can see it's actually coming out of the back as well, a fair bit.
That's quite something. So are you looking to remove it? And General Fulton says,
Well, I don't want to keep it.
I would like to remove it. Fulton clarifies. I'd like to, but at this point, I'm a little worried with how his hand has grown around it as the scarring seems rather old at this point. And Olorn will kind of like adjust his glasses as he's looking. He's like, if I had to guess, you've had this for a few years now, right?
Since I was 13. Yeah.
I mean, it is definitely a very dense anima crystal. Very rough cut compared to most beast cores, but usually he'll kind of like start walking away from you guys as he's heading over towards like a counter space he has set up on the side, where you can see on this counter space there are a few beast cores set out on display. And he'll kind of pick one of them up to kind of show to you guys. And this one in particular that he grabs is a bracelet that seems to be made out of a kind of dark gray silver metal with a like teal gem that's been set into it. And he'll say, so most beast cores are typically set in a sort of alloy that the Dazzling Brigade makes. It helps to stabilize the anima inside of it, as otherwise, if left by itself, they tend to go a little haywire. I mean, I can try to take that out, but I don't think I'd feel entirely comfortable with that. But I can see about perhaps making a bracelet or something to put over your hand that will kind of act as an alloy to contain its magic. I can imagine what that's been doing to you over the last few years.
Tove, Ivari.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys step outside for a second?
Sure. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Yavari. We can Topal just kind of like herd Yavari out the door.
Yavari's eyes are like looking back at Narshella as Tove is kind of herding her out of the door. A little concerned, a little worried. But ultimately she's like, okay, fine. Lead the way.
They leave, leaving Narshellus with you and General Faldvin and the dwarf.
He'll kind of lean over the counter for a minute and just say, look, your name is Olorn, right?
Aye, that'd be me.
This bracelet, is that really going to work?
Oh, no, as he sets it back down. No, I would have to make you something. I was just using that as an example.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, am I still going to be able to cast magic?
You should. Most of the metals that are in beast cores are just to keep them from going out of control, as research over years has shown that if they're left on their own, he'll kind of like hesitate for a moment, being a little uncomfortable.
It's like, I've already been told by the general. He apparently had a beast core that it didn't explode. You said it just gesture at his skin, just did this, right?
Oh yeah, I remember making that for you, General. You still have it. And General Faldvin will give a small shrug, like, I do, yes. And Narshellus is correct. After it was broken in the war, it spread across the breastplate, much the same fashion as his arm.
Oh, that's great to hear. So, just out of curiosity, if I don't get this taken care of,
Olorn looks very uncomfortable as he kind of shifts his weight a little. And he'll say, well, From research that's been done into the subject or into this field of study, it's the name Beast Core is a little fitting for what ends up happening if they are left to their own devices. Most of the time, if they are not contained in some sort of alloy or something of the sort, they will spread, as you can see with yours and the one from General's armor. And they first start to mess with your emotions. They make you feel not right, not quite yourself. And eventually, if it's not taken care of, it drives the wearer to...
I've heard enough.
Jeez.
Kind of sit there for a minute and leans forward and puts one hand in the other. It's kind of just thinking for a minute. And you can see like his eyebrows are drawn together very tightly, and his eyes look glassy. But he's got like his mouth in a very thin line, and he's like, "Alright, I'll try whatever you can make me."
Very well. I'll get started on something right away. I should be able to have it to you maybe by tomorrow or so. I don't have a whole lot of orders to work on right now.
And how much is this going to cost?
He looks at Faldvin, and the two kind of share a look. You can't quite read the general's face, like his eyes kind of narrow slightly. And Olorn just waves a hand and says, don't worry, the cost will be covered. Meanwhile, back at Gnomeland Security. Taffy and Arca, you two have been pretty much hanging out in this little room with Tagira, the guild master of Gnomeland Security, as she has now scribbled on half of this chalkboard in front of you, going over what she considers to be basic runes and glyphs, which for you guys might sound like absolute gibberish.
Oh man. Dang. They're magical locks. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. And she's explaining like the basic setup of a glyph and what all of these different circles mean, and like if you put a line here it's good, you put a line here it's gonna mess the whole thing up.
Excellent. Would she notice or mind if Taffy kind of pulled out his notebook and took some notes?
No, she would be quite fine with that.
Perfect.
I must know, how did you get past the locks on the windows? Twice, in fact.
It's a trade secret. Yeah, but like, she's gonna ask, like, well, you work for us now. Well, you see, he thinks about it for a minute. Turns out, it's your glyphs are well, let's just put it this way, a little obvious in places, and you encounter a couple of magical, locking mechanisms here. This is why the Padlock Guild preferred more physical locking mechanisms as opposed to magical ones. You have the right magic device, or you know how to mess up a glyph.
That was not my question, Taffy. I want to know how you got through them. I'm quite curious. I guess I just want to know so that I may better ensure it doesn't happen again.
I see. Okay, so real quick, the glyphs that she's been showing us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to be put on the object, or is it like you paint it in the basement and the whole house gets locked down?
So from what you've gathered of what she has explained, it kind of depends on the situation. So she's explained there's a few different ones they use. There are their alarm glyphs, which go on a specific object, usually like the bottom or somewhere unnoticeable, where if it's touched, if it's moved, or like manipulated in any way, in like a magical alarm will go off that alerts the person who cast or who created the glyph that something is being moved. Then there's their individual locks, which are glyphs placed on single items like a chest or drawer that will just lock that specific drawer. And then she's mentioned that in the cases of protecting an entire house or an entire building, they tend to use something a little more complex that does include a main set of glyphs, usually in like the foyer or like a large central room in the house. But she hasn't gone into detail about that yet, as she probably said, oh, it's really complicated stuff, and you'll get to that later.
So Tavison was like, well, me personally, you know, it's always about where you don't lock it down. You know, you may have, you know, locked the windows out, but, you know, the frame sure is, let's call it pliable.
I see. She like nods slowly. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind.
How do you deal with those who are trained in, you know, the magical arts?
Oh, when it comes to them trying to break through our wards?
Yeah.
Well, typically, depending on the job, it's... Most of the time, while we do have... Let's say, for example, we'll take Lord Pierpont's house. We set up our central set of glyphs in his basement, as it was a very central location in his home where his guests wouldn't be able to disturb it. And then we set up multiple smaller glyphs along most of the windows or rooms to ensure that the ward was strong and secure over the entire house, or so I thought. And at that point, it's just meant that if some would-be thief happens to find one of them and destroy a glyph, the likelihood of the entire ward breaking is still rather small, as there are many other glyphs still holding it in place. It's much like nailing down a tarp on a broken roof, where you use multiple nails, you're less likely for it to go flying off.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. I got it. Real quick question. Let's say that, you know, you apply the glyphs to, you know, specific areas, but then what if somebody decides to just, I don't know, run through the wall?
She kind of looks at him for a moment. I guess that's one way to get in, yes. Yeah, the walls might have some reinforcement from the warding, but it's... I guess the likelihood of someone doing that is rather slim, so it's not something I've concerned myself with.
Gotcha, fair enough. Just wondering what the coverage of these things are. If I'm going to be selling this stuff, you know, I got to make sure that I am prepared for certain questions, you know.
Of course. That's been it so far. I've extended an offer out to General Kiraniel as well, yet he's always seemed rather disinterested.
Huh. I mean, you know, with the regicide hitting so close to home, you'd think some of these people would be a little bit more interested in keeping themselves secure.
You would think, but I suppose all the nobles just live in their own little worlds, thinking they're untouchable from the castle itself.
Huh. So the second we leave the building, you know, they kind of walk down the road a bit, and he kind of turns to look to make sure he's not being, like, followed by any other gnomes or anything like that.
Nope, it is clear.
Now all we gotta do is go and dismantle all their security. God, that was so easy. We just walked in and she just gave it to us. Holy crap. As
yeah,
he,
you would think the
wiggles.
security
What an
guild
idiot!
would be a bit like...
And the best part is now I can link them to working with the Duke, who's, wrapped up in all this mess. Oh, it's gonna just absolutely tank their entire guild. Oh, they're gonna be crawling out of this one. He's just laughing to himself. Like, he's just super smug right now.
Suddenly hear a voice speak up. What was that about the Duke?
Like, Tabby literally jumps and flies forward like a couple of feet. Just
Can't find his
cat
token.
noises.
Wait, where is he? Shit, oh, it's this guy. There he is.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Just makes
You're
cat like
so rude.
just cat for flies. Taffy makes cat yelp. Just jumps forward. Just like spins around. Is like his pupils dilated.
Poor Taffy. Kairos Ruscale, Inspector Ruscale himself has come walking up to you guys and is like, what are you doing hanging around Gnomeland Security?
Ruscale, Detective Ruscale, how are you doing today? I didn't know you were in town.
Well, yes, I live here.
He freezes. He's like, oh, you live here. I didn't know that. I must have missed that. Need to write that down later. Just passing through. Just friendly guild competition, as it were.
I see. Well, you'll be up against some tough ones there with Gnomeland Security. They've got about this whole city on lockdown.
Yeah, lockdown. Yeah, listen, but they're always people are always looking. It's just guild business, just.
Perhaps you're here trying to find out how they sealed the manor.
Oh. Now, why would I do that? I am an upstanding. I work for a guild. Are you accusing me of something, sir?
Oh, it's just rather odd how I find you at the scene of a crime that Gnomeland Security helped to seal, and now you are here harassing them for information.
I have
Not
harassed.
A little odd.
I have harassed no one, good detective. I was just in town. I was just at, you go up, you talk to your competitors, talk business a little bit, get a little jab in at each other over a little, course of couple conversations. Of course, I'm in town here to do business, to sell some padlock gear. Nothing suspicious. Just trying to win some customers over. They don't have a monopoly over the city now, do they? I am allowed to legally sell my equipment to those who are interested in purchasing it.
Yes, because that's what you're doing.
Of course, what else would I be doing, detective?
Sometimes I wonder, Cat.
He just kind of like, he's composed himself a little bit more now that, surprise Russ scale. He's like, okay, I'm in public, I'm in the street, like everyone can, there's like an audience, all right. We got witnesses. It's like, detective, I'm sure if I was doing anything illegal, you would have certainly found out by now. Which, unless you have a warrant for my arrest, I unfortunately have some business, or fortunately for me, I have some business to attend to in the Noble District.
And watching you, Taffy. He'll just kind of turn around and just start like walking off down the street.
After he's out of eyesight, Taffy leans over on his knees and just lets out an exasperated breath like, why? He's everywhere. Oh. If he nabs me for like literally anything, he's going to use that to basically try and just burn down the entire Padlock Guild. I can't have that happen, man. I can't.
Yeah, you can't do that to your girlfriend, can you?
Taffy, like, his tail kind of shoots out and he's like, we didn't need to bring her into this.
And as you're heading up the incline that leads towards the gate to the Noble's Quarter, as well as the kind of market area where Narcellus had the infamous crab incident, you guys might notice a little ways up ahead, through the crowds of people that are already now starting to cram into the streets as the morning has gone on. You'll notice that there's a fairly familiar-looking green bird walking to what seems to be a tabaxi, along with a new canine friend that seems to be looming almost a foot taller than Taffy.
Uh-oh.
As they are heading towards the Nobles District. Nobles Quarter.
Bar goes, I wonder if that's Taffy's girlfriend.
Oh my god, just jump right to it.
Are you insane? That's a dog.
It's a dog.
That's a dog.
Dogs can get along.
Would I like to have children? Yes. Is this really a topic for us to be discussing when we're standing in front? No,
Yes.
it's not.
It's very important. Yes, it is. Don't avoid the question.
Okay, Tove, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
You have to answer it truthfully.
Okay.
How long have you had the names of your kids picked out?
No.
Oh.
So,
Tove just tenses up, just doesn't want to answer.
Maybe since I was
Yep.
maybe since I was 7.
And how many were there?
That is a very personal question that I'm not going to answer.
Wow, okay. If it makes you feel better, I am not planning on falling in love or having kids. So, there you go.
Oh, so great. You'll be like a built-in babysitter.
What?
Yeah.
Why would that make us feel better?
You did great with those other kids.
Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, Yavari,
Yeah,
I just wanted
You're very...
Yavari, I just wanted you to feel better about being a spinster.
Wow.
damn.
Yavari looks like she's gonna hit him.
The
Tove
spicy,
literally has her hand over
the
to stop
sass.
herself.
Them's fighting words.
He sort of crosses his arms and looks at her like, "Are you really gonna do it?"
Yavari just kind of glares at him. It's clearly a very sensitive topic.
Oh.
She just turns around.
As you are walking down the road, you'll see, walking the other way, on the other side of the road, a very familiar man dressed in black robe
Oh no.
with slicked back hair. He's got a mustache, and whatnot is the Minister Yukon.
There he is.
Yeah, he's just walking at a very slow and very nonchalant pace. Like he is not in a hurry whatsoever.
I hate this man.
He doesn't even really give. No, actually, I take that back. He notices you guys. He looks,
Gee, I wonder why.
raises an eyebrow, but he says nothing. He'll just continue walking.
It takes every ounce of energy in Narcellus' body to not yell something. And you will see it in how he carries himself. Suddenly every muscle is tensed up. And he just looks at Tove, just whispers, I could do it.
No one would know.
No one would. And Tove, who obviously is now feeling very uncomfortable just because of Minister Yukon being there, you know, her like speed of the way of how fast she is walking is like steadily increasing. She's sort of she's just getting faster and faster. She's like, if I can just get to General Baldwin's house.
He looks at you. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He looks at you, and he says the same thing. He just goes, I could do it.
I know you could, and I would support you.
Would you?
You know what? He's a racist. You know, racists don't get pity for me.
And so, as Minister
no.
Yukon walks by, Narcellus will kind of spin around on his heel, lift up one of his hands and say, Oh, good afternoon, Minister.
Minister will stop, like turn properly to look at the three of you, as just a small smile will appear on his face as he says, Interesting part of town for you all to be hanging about. Wouldn't loiter too long if I were you three.
This guy.
Narcellus will just suddenly grin from one ear to the next. And it's a toothy, sharp snaggletooth little grin. And he says, Oh, I'm sorry. I suppose word hasn't gotten around yet. I live here.
Oh, no.
I find
You
that
very Snickers.
I find that rather hard to believe.
He'll just reach down as he's walking backwards and just sort of lift up and twirl the little house symbol he's got hanging from his belt and give him like this sly little wink.
He'll like just look at Narcellus for a long moment, still that pleasant smile on his lips as he just inclines his head slightly and says, For all I know, that could be some sort of fake.
Oh, Yavari. Oh,
Taupe is just like almost in a dead like jog right now.
The minister will just say, be careful who you go showing that to, Drow. And he'll turn and continue down the road.
Ooh, is that a threat?
no.
We're gonna leave it.
Is that a threat, Minister?
We're just god.
He doesn't respond. Just keeps walking.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Coward.
Just reaches up and pinches the bridge of his nose. Do you know? I would be okay going to jail. I would survive. You guys wouldn't survive, but I think I'd survive in prison.
Taupe is just
As
shaking her head
Minister
like
Yukon is... Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying. So Taupe was just like shaking her head, like, "No, I would not survive in prison."
As Minister Yukon is walking away, Yavari like throws up a middle finger behind his back.
Yeah.
Michelle kind of looks at Yavari and he's like, "What are you doing with your hand?"
This is a gesture of great offense to most people.
He looks down at his hand and he tries to get his finger to do that, but it's like he's never done it before, so they don't want to stay. He's just like, I see.
Can Yavari like grab his hand?
Yep.
Yeah, so she's gonna carefully and gently like take his hand in hers and then help him make a middle finger.
Excellent.
That's how you do it.
Oh.
He's just like, okay, I think I'm getting the hang of it. Okay, so like this. And he just holds it up as he walks through the front
Yes,
door.
exactly.
It's like, okay, so this is how this works.
Yeah, and it's basically like a giant fuck you to
Oh, I
anyone you
get it,
throw it
because
at.
it looks like, oh, okay.
Oh, we have learned.
Yavari is not a good influence. She never claimed
No,
to be
she
a good
is
influence.
not.
Not once. Not
Oh.
ever.
Toe,
Mm?
look what I can do with my hand.
No, but you should not be doing that in the house. Norshella.
No,
Norshella.
look, the little two little finger. Look, I get it.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yes. But you shouldn't be doing that in the house. Can you please put your hand down before somebody else sees this? Thank you.
Yeah, as you guys enter the Carannula estate, Taffy and Arca, when you guys came back, because you also passed by Minister Yakan as he was just leaving, but I imagine he completely ignores you guys.
Like, Taffy doesn't know really who he is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, some dude. Just walking
Yeah.
down.
Pretty much.
And where would you guys go once you got into the house?
All right, so is the dining room clear?
Yeah, all the food has been cleared out. The table currently sits empty, other than maybe like a little centerpiece in the middle with like a couple of candles decorated with like leaves and flowers.
Perfect. So Taffy's going to immediately try to find like some paper or something he can draw on and just like start spreading it all over the dining table.
I'm sure Samoya probably just hands you some, just takes it out of her little bag.
My girl. All right, so it's like, oh, thank you. And he's gonna go and start copying down the glyphs and like the various sizes and how they look and all that stuff. He's prepping it because first of all he's gonna wait until someone magical like Yavari or he doesn't really know how magic works. So basically anyone who can cast magic, which he's seen the rest of his party cast magic. He's gonna make sure he's gonna try and hope to get these verified to make sure they're actually magical in nature. And then he's gonna go over how to dismantle every single one of them with the rest of the party. So that's what he's prepping to do.
Okay. Excellent. So yeah, you guys do that. Arca, what are you up to?
He is basically just waiting, so yeah, he takes a chair at the dining table, props his feet up, and chills until everyone else gets here.
You know what? He's valid.
Right.
I
Exactly.
imagine, while Taffy, you've got paper spread out on one part of the dining table. Samoya puts the bag down and starts to kind of sort through it and takes a few things out as she's checking nothing got damaged on the way over. She's got the few scarabs you asked her to bring. She's got some trick locks, a couple puzzle locks, only a few other things. She's just sorting it all out. Yeah, it's not long afterwards then. Yavari, Narshellis, and Tove, you guys come into the house.
You see
the
Toffee
dining
drawn on the table.
Yeah, you guys probably step inside the main foyer entrance room. There's no one here, but you hear noises from the dining room. So you go in, check it out to see that the rest of your party is there, or at least most of it, along with a red husky woman who's got a whole bunch of weird looking locks sitting in front of her on the table.
Yep, Taffy's just busy drawing on the table. He hasn't noticed anybody yet.
Marcellus will just kind of walk up beside Taffy and just sort of look at the drawing with his head tilted very slightly to the side. And what is it he's drawing exactly?
The glyphs that
So
a bunch of magic circles, basically.
Marcellus is going to look at one and he's going to say, "Are you trying to turn someone into a spider?"
And Taffy freezes and he's like,
Why would that be your first?
he bristles up and he's like, "Wait a minute." And so he kind of turns and looks at Nars like, "Oh, well, first of all, welcome back. Second of all, what?"
Oh, it's just the temples and noble estates where I'm from. We have magic circles like wards, except if you step on them, you can't really see them if you're not used to it. He'll stop and he'll look at everyone like he's confused why they're confused. He's like, "You turn into a spider."
So Taffy stops. He kind of straightens up. He's just looking Nars dead in the eye. And he's like, "So this circle right here, this ward, turns people into spiders."
No,
Oh,
no, he'll look at it and say, "Not that one. No, but it." He'll stop. He'll tilt himself inside. So he's like, "I mean, it can be modified to turn someone into a spider quite easily."
that's terrifying.
Taffy starts laughing. So
Uh-oh.
Gnomeland
Are
Security.
you okay?
Oh, I'm better. Okay, this links Gnomeland Security to your people's magic.
I'm sorry. What?
And so he's just smiling. He's like pointing at these glyphs right here. These are the types of security wards that Gnomeland Security puts in people's homes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can modify them to erect shields or barriers. You're missing a polymorph glyph. Are you trying to turn people into spiders?
Well, no, that wasn't my original intent, but this confirms that they didn't try and pull a fast one on me, which is even more hilarious. I'm not the fact that these
What
can
an
be
idiot.
easily. I know, right? And the fact that these can be. Yeah, they just let me
Did they
walk
just
right
give
in.
you these?
They did. They had me sign nothing. I just walked in there, talked to their guild leader, which is our friend, now he's seen everybody. He points to Yavar, and he's like, "Remember the pink-haired gnome lady?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, she's the guild branch leader here in Valgard for Gnomeland Security." What a pleasant lass she was. Yeah, and she just handed me all of this information. And the fact it can be modified to polymorph people into spiders.
I mean, why are you laughing?
Do you really? You know what we could do with this? I could mess with their glyphs in any of their homes and man.
Okay, Taffy.
Yeah.
Think of the implications of you messing with people's wards to turn them into spiders.
Okay, well, can it be can it be like half a spider, maybe like a spider leg? Maybe you put it on like a timer or something like that. Just nothing permanent.
I mean, if you figure out the polymorph glyph, you could always turn them into something different. I mean, I don't see any sort of incantation to loath here, so.
This is perfect. I could. All right, maybe I'm getting a little vindictive towards the Gnomeland Security, but the possibilities are there.
Samoya
You
will.
want to
I
mod-
like where you're heading with that.
Samoya will finally perk up and be like, "What? Didn't we only want to learn how they work? I don't think turning people into spiders is really going to help."
No, we're not turning them into spiders. Hold on, no, Taffy, you have an idea. Hold on. So for example, let's just say that we wanted to turn someone into. He's really getting into it and just sort of like going back and forth. He's like, into. Toe. What was the animal you mentioned earlier? Sheep. What if we wanted to turn people into sheep?
Oh man, what an unfortunate series of accidents. Gnomeland Security accidentally turning a whole bunch of people into sheep with their security services. Man, I can just hear the criers in town now. Not that we would. Oh, we wouldn't do that.
Of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
I normally would not support something like this, but Taffy.
Yeah.
I've wanted to turn someone into something for so long.
Oh my goodness. And listen, as a member of the Padlock Guild, I of course wouldn't know how any of these things work. I don't work for Gnomeland Security.
Exactly.
Not that I would put this anywhere and use this
Of
information.
course.
Yeah, of course not.
And it's not like you just happen to know a sorcerer who might accidentally misplace a glyph or two.
Oh, of course not. If they're just so willing to hand out this information, who am I to I'm not in control of any of this. It's
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, if you could just walk over here and look at some of these other wonderful glyphs and wards I just happen to have drawn on the table over here.
He'll just sort of make his way around.
In fact, if everyone would like to come on over here, this will be very important when we're trying to convince the Duke that the current glyphs and wards he have are quite inappropriate as a security means to keep him safe at night.
What is Arca doing? How is Arca feeling?
How's Arca feeling?
You know what? Fuck it. They deserve to be turned into spiders. It's mostly assholes anyway.
We support it.
Yeah.
How's Tove feeling about all this as well?
So there is so much happening. I think that Tove is a little overwhelmed, but she's interested in learning the glyphs, so she's gonna make her way over there to figure out what's going on.
Also, so then I'm going to direct this question at Yavari. Is she looking at the glyphs that Taffy is sharing with everyone?
She is. She's thoroughly examining them while also supporting totally not a crime at all.
I'd like you to roll an Arcana check for me.
Oh, I should probably have my character sheet open, huh?
That's fine. It's been a very lax sort of session today, so it's not a big deal.
Yes, let me just open this bad boy up for a second. Okay, an Arcana check?
Yes. Okay. That's all I needed, thank you.
No problem.
No problem.
Not scared at all.
Not scared at all. Hold on real sec. I'm going to rejoin the chat real quick.
Oh, is
yeah, the reactives are
being weird.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
How wow? Okay, that should fix it.
Nice. Yeah, so Taffy, you begin to show everyone all these glyphs and magic circles that you have taken down your notes of, as you all seem to, at this point, kind of be awaiting Baldwin to come join you from wherever he might be in the house. Let me see. Oh yeah, go ahead.
And in the middle, after he shows all this, it's like, oh, and Arca, would you so kindly, describe how they control their, central glyph and how it might accidentally be disarmed?
Arca kind of scratches his head. He's trying to recall how all of this shit works. There's a central glyph that links all these other glyphs, and if you mess with that one, it can bring the whole security system, I guess, crashing down.
Oh,
And see, look, that wasn't even me who acquired that information. That was our friend Arco over here.
Hmm.
And then he pauses for a minute, like he just remembers something. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I have forgotten to introduce my coworker over here, Samoya, the guild contact here for the Padlock Guild in Valgard.
I was wondering when you were going to introduce me to all of your friends.
Sorry about that. I got a little excited. You know, it's not every day we get a chance to stick it to Gnomeland Security.
That's very true. Very true. But yes, hello. I'm Samoya.
He kind of bounces over.
You're very tall.
You're
Very tall.
You. You're all rather short. Except you. She looks at Narcellus.
what?
Nothing. Just mentioning your height.
Yes, I'm a little tall. Is that a problem?
No.
It's not an insult, Narcellus.
She gives Narcellus like this odd look, like, no. Just making an observation. Sorry.
He's
Anyway.
like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about Sam. It's all good. These are my consultants.
Consultants?
Yeah, the consultants that are gonna help look over the mansion as we're, pushing our sales pitch over to our friend the Duke.
Oh, good to know. And as you guys are chit-chatting there, you guys hear footsteps from a little down the hallways as soon General Faldman has appeared in the doorway to the dining room, as probably attracted by the sounds of everyone's voices like filtering through the house. And he'll like look over everyone, kind of gives an odd look to the new addition to the party. He's like, oh, suddenly someone else.
It's like,
in my home, but it's fine.
In my home, it's fine.
It's fine.
People just keep showing up.
In front of my cell?
Listen, it's probably the most lively his house has been in a while.
And the most diverse.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, calling this man out.
Calling this man out.
He'll just kind of speak up to the party in general as he asks them. I take it everyone had a successful time out this morning.
Oh, did we?
I'd say so.
Sure.
And then Tab's like, oh yeah, how did your guys' little expedition go?
Narcellus is gonna immediately look at Tove and Yavari with like this wide-eyed expression and just.
It was very enlightening.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good. So,
Yeah.
Yavari and Narcellus fought for like a whole 15 minutes. Great.
Almost bitter.
Yeah, he did.
And he almost got a broken nose.
Excuse me?
Hey, don't bark if you can't bite.
I
That's
will
what
bite.
always say.
Yeah, that seems about right.
And if you bite, I bite back.
Punching someone isn't biting.
You have broken the rules of the bite off.
That's how drow show their affection.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if I bit Taffy, I'd expect him to bite me back.
I
That's
I
what
mean-
cats do, right?
Oh my god. I wouldn't bite you back.
Wow, I didn't think you were
I
that-
would.
Uh,
Samoya speaks up, says, I would.
Okay, see, there you go. So, Sam would bite you in my stead.
He's just looking at her with like this half wide-eyed stare, like, I'm okay.
Like, I don't
Sure.
I don't bite just anybody, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the next time Narshels bites Yubari will bite him. In respect to Drow tradition.
And putting his hands on the table, he goes, "Oh, and we happened to run into Minister Yukon on the way here."
And he threatened our poor Narshels.
Faldwin gives a small sigh. What happened?
What?
Well, I have a new name, and I gotta say, it's my favorite one yet.
What would that be?
Hold on, I have to like vocal fry my voice. Yeah, hold on, Drow.
Hmm.
It's almost better because his voice just climbs in pitch when he says the word.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
And this guy sounds like a piece of work.
Mm.
Wait, was it that dude who's like got the slick hair and like the robe?
Yep.
Ah,
The creepy mustache man. Yeah.
creepy mustache man. Gotcha. Yeah, I can visualize it in my brain. I can just hear
Yeah, not
it.
even covertly racist, just outward an asshole.
Man.
Yvari, I don't know if you've seen the city that you're in right now, but
Oh no, I've seen, and I plan on arson.
No,
Yvari,
Yubari.
Jokes, jokes, General Faldman.
look, even I'm begging you not to burn the place down, okay?
Okay, I won't. I won't.
So, how'd your morning go, racist religious people aside?
Oh, it's that at Faldwin.
Yeah.
Says, well enough. It's been quiet this morning. Mr. Yukon mostly just wanted to talk about what's been going on around the city recently, and mentioned apparently the Magi from Idfu is set to make a visit within the next couple of months. And,
Yubari's ears kind of perk up at that.
I would say, yeah, Yubari and Tove specifically, you guys would know
Yeah.
exactly who he's talking about.
The big gun.
What's a magi?
That's one of his titles, Magi, Prophet. He is the spiritual leader of the Order of the Seven.
Oh, I already don't like him. Never mind. We
What I
were.
understand.
Oh, go ahead.
He's a complicated situation. From what I understand, he's really not all that bad, but apparently, the Order is wanting to erect teleportation circles to many of the major cities across Idavoll. Valgard being one of them,
Hmm.
to allow for easier travel.
Sounds convenient.
Mhm.
And who's going to be testing this magic?
Not sure. Suppose they might have volunteers, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Interesting.
I don't know why this is a hill Yubari needs to die on, but apparently it's the hill she's dying on tonight.
Yeah.
It's violence. time.
Well, Yavari, if you're that concerned, I'm sure you could talk to them and they'll, probably push you through. You end up somewhere in the middle of the Underdark, You get swallowed by a giant worm.
I would rather throw myself in the unholiest of fires in 9 circles of hell and shake Yaldabost's hand myself than do that.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Good
This
to
is
know.
the hill. This is the hill. Yavari is slowly climbing it. I don't know why.
But we were just going over some. He looks down at the drawings on the table and he's like, "Actually, we weren't doing anything. What are you doing?"
Nothing at the moment. I you all talking in here, so I figured I would come and see what you all were up to.
Nothing.
Alright.
Nothing.
Well,
Marcellus, weren't
Talk-
you about to teach Taffy how to turn people into spiders?
Alvin looks very concerned all of a sudden.
Taffy slides on over. It's like, oh, sir, no, don't worry about this. See this right here as he motions his hand towards the table. This is Gnomeland Security's work, as you may see. It's actually quite dangerous and could be quite a problem, if you catch my meaning. We're just trying to come up with the good ways to, make sure that it doesn't become that kind of a problem, as you may understand.
Right.
Turns out our friends Gnomeland Security may be in in doing some things they ought to be doing.
I see. Well,
Not turning anyone into spiders.
That's what they do now. That's what these are. They're spider glyphs.
No,
No, they're not!
I'm gonna spread the shit out of that rumor. Gnomeland Security spelling glyphs that turn you into spiders.
I have never heard of such a thing, but at least not from Gnomeland Security. So
Oh, I'm sure it's something they very much wouldn't want to let slip from their little gnomey grasps.
I mean, from what I understand, glyphs and magic circles are very common across many magical practices. He just kind of takes a breath. He's like, just don't be so quick to jump to conclusions.
Oh, but of course not. Just pointing out an observation.
Okay.
Taffy, you are gonna land me back in jail one day.
No, I'm gonna frame Gnomeland Security for it.
Yeah.
The Padlock Guild doesn't deal with these.
Regardless, if any of you need something, just let me know. Are you gonna
Taffy
say
will.
something? I'm sorry.
Oh, Taffet he'll back up and be like, but of course, as he goes back to the table to continue to study the glyphs.
Marcellus will kind of put his hands out on the table and just kind of look over them, even though he's very clearly not studying them at all. He's just kind of looking at the paper.
So, Nars, quick question. If we wanted to, let's say, disable these kinds of glyphs, how would we go about doing so?
Rip the paper in half.
Okay, well, alright. Let's say that they're painted upon, stone.
Break the stone? Well, they're painted, right?
Yeah, let's say they're, painted, or maybe they're etched into something, with a chisel or something like that.
Just mess up one of the glyphs.
It's really that simple?
I mean, unless the glyph itself is enchanted to stop you from doing that, in which case then you'll have to disenchant it, and then If you disenchant it wrong, then you might end up turning into a spider anyway, and then you're a spider forever, and then people have to come down there, and you might get stepped on. Then your soul would sort of loath for like forever, and then you're also in danger of getting stepped on, even though you're not getting any bigger, and nobody knows that you turned into a spider, so you're down there forever, unable to unpolymorph.
Okay.
This
Okay.
just keeps getting better and better.
My
No,
question is,
no.
if you get turned into a spider, are you a U-shaped spider? Like, are you a big spider or are you a tiny spider? 'Cause I feel like both. It matters on the answer to that. Like, say if Taffy turned into a spider, like right now, would he be like Taffy sized, or would he be like
Would be a cat
my
spider?
thumb size?
I mean, it depends. I mean, arachnomancers can turn into human-sized spiders, but then there's also driders. So really, it depends on what the teleportation circle. I'm sorry, what the glyph wants you to turn into. So, like, let's say that Arca walked over a polymorph circle down in the Underdark. He may turn into a chicken-sized spider, or into an Arca-sized spider, or he may turn into like a finger-sized spider and be so tiny that he doesn't realize what's happening, and then it's just over for him when someone just steps on him.
Have you been turned into a spider before?
I mean, it's a completely valid question.
General, can I speak to you?
Fulvin looks confused and it's like, all right.
He sort of looks at Taffy like, I don't have to answer that, and just walks around.
And he just like opens his notebook, pulls out his charcoal. Nars may have been a spider once.
No. Oh, poor Noshellos.
He just walks around the table and just sort of like slides into an open.
So
He's like-
what would you do if Ari turned into a spider?
Oh,
Would you
no.
still love him?
Oh, wait, what?
The answer is obviously yes.
Yes.
Oh.
We're not turning Ori into a spider!
I would love Ari if he was a worm. I would love Ari if he was a rainbow. I would love Ari if he was Ari. Anyway, I'll shut up now.
Alvin just looks very confused and very concerned for a lot of you at this table right now.
Yeah, that's fair. He really should.
He's just like, can I talk to you away from the insanity for a moment, please?
Yes. Yeah, and he'll beckon you to kind of follow along after him, probably just out of the room and into like the little
Thank you.
little foyer space where they've got like the couple couches set up.
He's like, okay, one, I promise no one's gonna turn into a spider.
It's,
Can't promise that.
It's weird that I have to say that, but I'm saying it now.
it's all right.
It's
Oh.
alright.
Two, I will try to stop Yavari from setting fire to the entire town. That I may not succeed on, but I will try.
I would certainly appreciate Valgod not burning to the ground.
Yes.